Hello, Degens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I am the Brofict one, AJ. Of course, with me is my co-host Noah. Follow me on Twitter at Brofict one. Noah at N_Engelbratson. And then, of course, thank you for listening on Spotify, YouTube, however you are listening, however you are watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It does help us out a lot. Noah, how you doing today, bud? We had some preseason action and big slate of football all weekend. It seems like football's all the way back, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yes, sir. I mean, hey, it's almost Friday, almost the
Yes,
weekend.
sir.
I'm happy. Diving back into the brunt of me sitting on my ass on the couch watching football for God knows how many hours. But,
Well,
whatever. It'll be
let,
fun. It'll be a good time.
well, let's be real. It's not enough hours because we only get, what, barely 6 months of football a year, of actual like seasons and playoffs and games and everything. So we really deserve, we owe it to ourselves to sit our ass every day, Saturday and Sunday, watching football all day, every day. We really owe it to ourselves, I think. So here's to all of us, honestly, for sitting on our ass the next 7 months, putting in the work and watching this football. And I promise you, we're going to try to win the money, but we're going to lose a lot more than we win. So I'll drink to that. Noah, what are you drinking tonight?
A little Mystic Reef, mixed Mystic Sneef,
Oh, you're
Mystic
still
Queef.
still
I don't
on
know.
that.
Hey, man, they're cheap and they're good. So
Hey, fair enough. I couldn't
sponsor
find
me,
them out
baby.
here, so I'm going to have to give it a shot. Maybe get an order or something.
Yeah, they Mystic Reef. If you see this, sponsor us.
Hey,
Send us some product, and we'll gladly feature it on the show.
gladly, gladly. As we like to say, the best drink is the next one in our hand or a free one. So, Mystic Reef, shout out to them. I'm still drinking Topo Chico. If they want to send us any seltzer or honestly any water, please do, because the
or
water,
any or any or any of them. I don't know.
any
We'll take anything free, man.
any hard seltzer companies out there, and if you're a degen like us, please send us a DM. We'd love to do some promotional work. But
I'm not too proud to beg.
no, not at all. Never, never, never. Money is money, especially when we got a packed football season coming up, starting hot this week with the New England Patriots versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Went kind of like how I think you and I thought it was going to go, minus Jalen Hurts starting in the first quarter. Patriots take this one 35-0. Um, as we said last week, this is preseason football. It doesn't matter whatsoever. But if I'm a Patriots fan after watching this week, I'm excited about what Cam Newton can do. I'm excited about what Mac Jones was able to do today. And I enjoyed watching them. If I'm an Eagles fan, though, I'm petrified that we're going to have another season like last year, except a lot worse. Um, Jalen Hurts not taking any snaps this week. He probably won't take any next week before we go into the regular season. What are your general thoughts on the game, Noah? And am I blowing the Eagles out of proportion since it is still preseason? But I still think we should be hyped on the Patriots going into this season. They look like they could make another run.
Yeah, I think this is more so important for the Patriots than the Eagles because you look at some of the games like last week. I mean, the Vikings only putting up 6 points on 2 field goals. Like they should still be a like halfway decent team. The Packers only putting up 7 points against Houston. Like I, that's not as big of a deal to me. I mean, I would be worried if I was an Eagles fan, but not any more than I would have been coming into this game. I mean, we covered it. I like fully expect the Eagles to be probably bottom 5 or 6 in the league.
Oh yeah.
Um, this doesn't really change anything. I mean, kind of maybe cements it a little bit. I don't know. However, on the other side of the ball, lots of optimism to be had about the Patriots. I mean, Cam Newton looked great. I think he was like
Dude,
8 for 9, like 90 some yards and a touchdown.
amazing.
His
Good.
throws were spot on, which we didn't hardly see any of last season. He was kind of off in the first preseason game, but I don't know. I think Cam could have a decent year, and if he does, I don't think we'll see any of Mac Jones. I think the only way we see Mac Jones is if Cam is struggling. And I would I'd honestly like to see that. I'd like to see the return of Cam Newton. He was really fun to watch in his prime there with the Panthers. It's weird to say his prime, because he's not even. He's like, how old is Cam Newton? Like, he's got to be not even 30 yet.
Not even. If 30, just barely 30. We'll try to get a source on that real quick.
So it's weird to say that his prime was at like 25 years old, but he was so fun to watch with the Panthers. And if we can get some of that back and get some of that, probably not to the same extent. I don't think he'll be throwing for 4,000 and rushing for 1,000, but I think he could be real solid. And Mac Jones has looked pretty good in his first 2 preseason outings as well. Obviously, he's getting more of those reps against the second and third team defenses, so I wouldn't read too much into that. But I think there's a lot of optimism to be had about this season if you're a Patriots fan.
Yeah,
and the defense holding the Eagles to 0, like holding any team in the NFL to single digits or putting up a shutout is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, and that goes preseason, regular season, no matter what the situation is. If you can hold these professional you can hold these professional athletes to 0 touchdowns, 0 points in general. That's incredible. Just to let you know, per Wikipedia, Cam Newton is 32 years old. So he still has some years left to play, especially since he didn't take as many hits coming out of when he was really hot with the Panthers, being a second string for a while. So who knows? He could end up having a Brady career where he plays till he's 40, 45. But we will see. I completely agree. This Patriots team looks hot going into their 3rd preseason game.
And what did I say? I said watch out for them to, I said the Bills deserve to be the favorite, but watch out for the Patriots to, give the Bills put some pressure on them. I think the Patriots could easily split games with the Bills and be a game or 2 back heading into the final couple games of the season. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I fully expect this Patriots team to be pretty good. The discipline they'll have with Belichick, they're not going to lose any games to bad teams. They'll probably win most of their toss-up games. I just don't know that they have the firepower necessarily to match up with some of those really good teams. But who knows? I mean, I don't think their offense will wow anybody, but their defense is going to be real tough.
Yeah, their defense is going to be rough. As we saw today, they were just everywhere, especially in the first quarter. They made Joe Flacco look like a first-year quarterback in a brand-new system, fresh out of college. They made him look like an absolute joke.
Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco.
MVP Joe Flacco. They made him look like an absolute joke. I took a note, and it was, the Eagles are the Eagles, and Joe Flacco is still elite after the first quarter of play. It's disgusting, dude. Yeah, that Patriots team is going to be rough walking in. Good on Belichick. It looks like he just needed to take a year off, and now he's ready to go on another run, maybe. And I definitely will have to take a look at my picks again, because I think I had them going under 500 wins. And I don't know, after watching tonight, I know it's preseason, but I'm getting a little hyped on that.
Yeah, it wasn't like you took a year off. I mean, I think we'll really see how much those all those opt-outs that they had, especially on the defensive side of the ball, affected them.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be a dangerous team this year.
I mean, absolutely. I think that
he's one of those. Belichick's one of those few guys in sports that you can never underestimate him. He's always got something up his sleeve.
Yeah,
off of his cutoff hoodie sleeves.
Yeah, it's kind of like betting against Brady. It's hard to bet the other way against Belichick sometimes. And tonight was definitely that night. It's hard to bet against Belichick, especially when we thought he was going against the first year quarterback in Jalen Hurts. But with that being said, besides the Patriots obviously needing to move on from whoever was kicking balls today, is there anything else that kind of stuck out to you from this preseason game?
Just shout out JJ Taylor, U of A alum. He had
Yeah,
a
shout out.
pretty monster game that was fun to watch. We watched him in college for a couple of years there, and
He was the one
he's
part
small,
of.
but he's one of those small running backs, Darren Sproles type of guys who he finds a way. He's tough. He bounces off of all these tackles, and there was I don't know if you saw the one player, but he like stiff armed the
Yeah.
linebacker down to the ground. And meanwhile, JJ Taylor's like 5'9", 5'10", and probably 190 pounds, but
Hey,
doesn't matter for him.
no disrespect to any of the U of A football players that we've watched play, but he was the most watchable part of that team because U of A, we're a basketball school, let's be real. And so just watching our football team in general can be kind of rough, but he was enjoyable, and I really hope he has the most success in the NFL, and maybe it makes U of A a football school. Who knows? It's that one guy that could spark a bunch of kids wanting to go there, but that won't happen. But we can still hope.
It might be a bit of a stretch, but
hey, we can hope. We can hope
Although
one day.
I mean, he'll probably be the third string running back would be my guess on their roster. However, I will say the one thing about JJ Taylor is he does look like he's emerging as probably their number one option in like punt return situations, possibly kick returns as well. So, but especially the punt return game. So he'll make that roster. He'll get some playing time, and I mean, he's still young. It's only in his second, third year in the league. So we'll see what happens with that. That's something I'm looking forward to watching develop. And I know you and I both were on the Patriots money line tonight. That was
yes, sir. Gotta love that.
That was about the easiest money I've ever seen.
Honestly, I mean, and even if we were in regular season, that's just a line that you see where you're like, cool, slam that immediately. Let's take that to the bank. Thank you, Belichick. Let's call it good. But yeah, going from Belichick to the person who made New England great for 20 years, Tom Brady and his Buccaneers. They had a joint practice this week with the Titans, and let's say it was very eventful with 5 or 6 fights breaking out, and honest to God, it seemed like it might have been the best. Like if Vince McMahon, from the owner of WWE, could book a wrestling card with pro football players, that's the lineup right there. Main eventing with Antonio Brown taking some guy's helmet off and landing a solid right jab. Like, it was a beautiful punch. Football's back. Football is all the way back. These guys are ready to play. These guys are ready to compete. And more than anything, Noah, this just got me hyped for this season even more. We didn't have joint practices last season because of COVID, and I don't know, man. I'm more excited about this Buccaneers-Titans game because I think a lot of this is going to carry over into the game. What are your thoughts on fighting in the NFL? Do you think it's good for the sport like it is for hockey, or do you think we're above that in the greatest league in America?
It's interesting. It wasn't the only incident of fighting. I think there were 3 of them this week at joint practices.
Yeah, I want to say one of them was with the Rams and Chargers too, maybe. But 5 in one practice. That's a big number, dude. Yeah. I could not imagine that many fights breaking out in anywhere. And I've broken up fights at my old job, dude. I'd break up fights left, right, and center at least once a weekend. But dude, I would have quit so much faster if it was 5 fights in one night. I couldn't even imagine trying to control that.
Yeah, I think these joint practices, I think they should do away with them. I understand this season with it being more compressed going into the season, and only the first time with only 3 preseason games. They're trying to, kind of save time on travel, get more preparation ready and all that. But there was, I think, one incident, one practice too, where I don't remember which one, but I think it was the Cowboys. No, not the Cowboys. I don't know. It was something. but one of the teams, like the quarterback with the red jersey on, so they're not supposed to get hit, and somebody ended up like hitting the quarterback a little bit, like not like a big hit or anything, but it was like they like ran into him and bumped him, and I think that was the cause of one of the fights somewhere. I don't remember exactly the details of that, but
well, shoot, it wasn't the Buccaneers, because if Tom Brady would have gotten hit, dude, it would have been an all-out brawl. Like, like there wouldn't have been another fight.
That would have been all over ESPN, like headlines too.
Yes, if Tom Brady gets hit,
Tom Brady, LeBron, like there's a couple other athletes that
Tebow,
like, literally,
RG3,
like. No, they're not to the same extent, but like LeBron takes a shit and ESPN's like, boom, news headline. Like Tom Brady's the same way. It's ridiculous, but yeah, I don't know. I think these joint practices, it seems like sometimes they cause more, like there's more cons than pros, at least in my mind. But I'm also not, I'm not a coach. I'm not involved in any of this, so I don't know exactly all the positives that come out of it. I don't know all the like nitty gritty, all the details. So maybe they're good. I don't know.
Very true. One way I kind of like to look at this, if I'm a Buccaneers or a Titans fan, I'm so hyped about this because it's just practice. It's just like don't get me wrong, not just practice, but it's practice. And I already got my boys getting in fight with the other team. Let's go. My team's ready to scrap. My team's ready to make a run. They're going to do whatever it takes. And they're not going to let someone run their mouth. They're going to run them over. They're going to punch them in the face. So I'm a big fan of that. I do think that violence solves the answers every once in a while. And I think this is one of those cases.
Yeah. And to answer your question with like fighting in the NFL, I don't really think there's a place for it. It's not like hockey, because like hockey, it can like happen in like the flow of the game and stuff.
Absolutely.
You look at football, like if a fight breaks out, it disrupts the flow of the game. It disrupts what's going on. Which, if it happens, it happens. I think, they're right. The way they handle it is the right way. You get a game or two suspension for it. You get ejected. Well, like you typically ejected and then just suspended for the next game. I think that's, fair. The equivalent of, the penalty box, I guess, because it does have much more of an impact on the game. Yeah, I mean, so I don't really think there's like a place for it in game.
Mm-hmm.
If guys want to duke it out like in the locker room after the game, I'm for that. Getting your fight off the field, not during the game.
Yeah.
And then don't suffer any consequences other than either getting your ass beat or beating somebody else's ass. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Now, all right, here's an awkward pivot, but these fights got me thinking, bro. Like, could you imagine if these were filmed? Like, could you imagine if, like, let's say Dana White came out here and he was like just promoting these fights left, right, and center. But what if there was like a place like where you could upload videos and stuff and have people pay, to view the videos, and with one of these companies coming out now, I think that could really open up the fight game and how fights are promoted and stuff like that, and give sports teams a different look into locker rooms and stuff. I'm of course referring to a very popular website, OnlyFans, claiming that it will no longer deal in the smut, the porn, or anything like that. They're going to go completely clean. They're going to go more creator friendly, so you can follow your people and figure out how the hell they knit whatever. What?
I believe the way they phrased it is, come October, there will be no more sexually explicit content allowed.
So they essentially announced that they're closing the website on October 1st then, because I don't know. I've never heard anyone say, dude, you got to check out this guy's OnlyFans. He made the dopest, like, bar stool or something from scratch. Like, it's, dude, check out these boobs. Like,
you got to watch this dude's mukbangs on OnlyFans.
But it's so stupid. Like, that would be like Jerry Jones coming out and say, we here at the Dallas Cowboys, we love football, but we're here to love another football, and they become like another MLS team or something like that. Like, why change your brand identity, especially when you're so entrenched in something already? It makes no sense to me.
I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what that turns into. Maybe it'll be you can subscribe to AJ and I's OnlyFans, where we'll just submit, put videos up of us just making gambling picks that'll probably lose you money, but
We
we
promise.
win sometimes.
Well, the
Tonight,
kick is
easy win.
no, but I
I'm
think
9-2. I'm 9-2 in preseason so far. So
hey, you're
get
doing
on
pretty
board.
good. But
Subscribe for the picks.
I say though, if OnlyFans is true to this and we do start one, our OnlyFans is strictly for sports that we don't usually bet on. You know what I mean? So like, one day we'll pick a couple cricket games, another day we'll pick a random long jumper in the World Finals or something like that. So stay tuned for that if
Yes.
OnlyFans sticks
Or
to their word.
like Russian hockey games. Those are fun.
Hey, let me know whenever Putin's on the ice. He's gonna win, dude, and he's gonna get at least a hat trick.
Little Japanese baseball, spice it up. KBO, Korean baseball.
Hey, KBO, I will.
Do you remember when KBO was like? I know I like bet on like multiple KBO games because back at the start of COVID when everything else was canceled, and then the first thing that came back was KBO. So there was like a solid like month or two where it was just like Korean baseball and nothing else. And I kid you not, I was like streaming like almost like one game a night KBO and just like betting on it because I'm like, well, this is sure. I'm like, yeah, let's get the Guangdong Ducks or whatever.
Hey, Korean baseball though, that was something else, man. That was interesting to see. I got into
Chinese. I misspoke. That's a Chinese basketball team, I think.
How dare you? How dare you know
that? Hate that I know that. But
luckily, our show is small enough. No one's gonna cancel you for that yet. So we'll just not make that blunder when we get bigger. But yeah, Korean baseball, that was a wild time. It was like that was available horse racing, llama racing, and Australian football. But besides that, there was no other sports. That was a weird time. I'm glad we're back in the knee deep of. We just got done with summer league. We're back into preseason. Baseball still going on. And hey, real quick, shout out to the D-backs for sweeping the Phillies today. Go them. I mean, we're still like 47-80, but
first sweep of the season, maybe. I don't know. Could be.
I should have been a better journalist and looked that up, but that had to have been right. How many? Let me check my sources.
Potentially. Hey, at least for you, you've got the fact that they're not as bad as the Orioles.
They are rough this season, dude. They are rough.
Yeah. I don't know. Twins are hottest team in baseball over the last 2 weeks, but doesn't mean shit because they're still like 15, 16, 17 games back. I don't know. They're just doing enough to pique my interest a little bit, but it's too late at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, good for them to get it going. Maybe they make a little push, maybe a wild card run or something, but
no, not even. I mean, if they finish around 500, I'm happy with that. They can get to 75 wins or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. So you ready to hear just some depressing stats, dude? So in 3-game series, the D-backs have been swept 6 times. In 2-game series, they've been swept 3 times. And in 4-game series, they've been swept 3 times. And this website doesn't even have how many they've won. So I'm going to assume that's their first. So, hey, shout out to the D-backs for getting one sweep, getting them brooms out one time. It's important to make sure the brooms don't have any cobwebs on them or anything when you break them out. Spiders are gross.
Well, they had cobwebs.
They definitely
did.
They
might be off now. I don't know.
I hope so, but they're going to be in hibernation for another year or so. Let's be real, unless we make some moves in the off season, but that would require our owner to spend money, and That ain't happening. So,
They should put me in charge. I'm pretty good at spending money.
dude, I am great at spending other people's money. Like if an owner came to me and said, "Hey, go make this team good," bro, we'd have the best team in the MLB. Simple as that, you know. I don't give a shit how big the
Hey, that's
contract or whatever.
you know
And that's what the Dodgers have been
that's my
doing.
favorite. It's my favorite money to spend. It's other people's.
See, we just got to get involved in one of those billionaire groups that buy teams like Patrick Mahomes did and A-Rod did and stuff, you know. So we just got to get in that circle. We'll say, hey, we'll run the team and everything. Just give us the money to do it.
Hey, that sounds perfect to me.
Hey, any billionaires out there? We're here to help. You know, we're here to help. We run a sports show, so we have to kind of know what we're talking about sometimes.
Yeah, I could figure it out.
I believe in us. I believe in us. Um,
Could
so
be worse than Bill O'Brien, you know.
no, yeah, we couldn't be worse than Bill O'Brien. We wouldn't send away every draft pick before we got fired.
I shouldn't say we couldn't be worse, but you know, it'd be hard to.
It's a low
hard to be
bar.
worse than
It
that.
is a low bar that he set for general managers in the NFL. So I don't think we could fall below that. That's low, dude.
I would hope not. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't, wouldn't make some of those trades, but
No one would. No one would. I don't know if I told you this story. I think I've told you this story, but when the D Hop trade for David Johnson and like a 6th-round pick was made, bro, I thought I was getting like tricked by someone. I thought it was April 1st or some shit like that because I couldn't believe it. And then they started talking about it on ESPN, and I was like, okay, they got too. You know what I mean? But
wouldn't
then sure
wouldn't
enough,
be
he
the
showed
first
up.
time you were tricked.
Oh, are you referring to
Just like
this afternoon, Noah?
yeah, this morning,
Okay.
this
Okay,
afternoon,
okay.
whatever. When to fill you guys in, AJ texted me, Tua is retiring, and I just immediately, first thing I responded was cap. I just said cap. Then AJ looked deeper, and it was a fake account.
So you gotta understand though. I'm looking at this tweet, dude, and it had the Sports Center logo, had at Adam Schefter per sources, like it was a good fake. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a fake nonetheless. Tua will not be retiring. He's still with the Dolphins, but how much of that'll help, that is yet to be determined. Speaking of the Falcons and the Dolphins, dude, you want to get into some preseason action this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got 2 games coming up tomorrow.
Whew.
I think we got a whole slate of them on Saturday, and
Yeah.
then
Couple games on
2
Sunday
on
and
Sunday and one on Monday.
dude, we have
So we
football
got,
all week. We're back, dude. This is awesome.
I love it. We got five straight days of NFL preseason.
God, this is what we're here for. So let's dive right into it. We got the Bengals and the Washington football team. Football team is the favorite, -6. Over under is 34, -110 either way. Washington football team -255 money line. Bengals +200. Noah, with that over under, and you'll see this as a pattern as we go through the rest of the games. Vegas kind of caught up. It looks like these over unders when I was looking at them. 110, 105, 115. Like that was the largest difference I saw. It really seems that they understand that they don't even know what's going to happen in preseason.
Well, and I think they lowered the point totals for.
Yeah.
Looks like the kind of average is about 2 or 3 points lower than it was last week. Obviously last week like 13 out of 16 unders hit or something like that.
It was a lot.
Yeah, the under was king week 1 of preseason, and I think they've adjusted those point totals. I wouldn't be surprised if this week it's pretty close to 50-50. I mean, they're preseason games. You're going to get less points because I do think there's a much bigger drop-off in talent, from these offensive first units to the second or third versus defense. Maybe not talent's not the right word. I should say organization. a lot of these second and third units haven't really played together, so they're kind of not got that chemistry. Whereas I think on defense, you don't really, not that you don't need it, but it's not like it doesn't come through as much. These defensive guys can still just go out and play.
Yeah, absolutely. And also going with a lot of these rookies, these first time guys, these guys trying to get a job, they're probably running around with their head cut off. They're just trying to make a play somewhat, even if it's not within this scheme. I doubt, like, they probably know the playbook pretty well, but at some point, it's just kind of a pray. A beg and a pray at some point when betting on these games and playing these games. Do any of those, any part of the line intrigue you at all, Noah?
Yeah, I'm hitting Bengals second week in a row.
Really?
They were, I think, 6.5 point dog week one against the Bucs. They actually ended up winning that game. I'm not taking a money line, but I mean, 6 point spread for a preseason game just seems like really aggressive to me. So for the second week in a row, I will be going after the Bengals to cover.
Dude, yeah, I can't agree. I can't agree more. 6 points is a lot in a preseason game. I think what we saw tonight was an anomaly, and just kind of how bad the Eagles' organization is in total. Yeah, Bengals, give me the points +6. And then, honestly, give me football team money line. I would not touch a -6. I'm not going to touch the over/under, but I'll take the money line and I'll take Bengals +6, and that's a nice little day right there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, going off of that, I think it was like 11 or 12 out of the 16 games in the week one of preseason were one-score games.
True.
So 8 points or less.
Yeah.
I want to say 12, but it might have been 11. There were a couple blowouts in there, but for the most part, it was, most of those games were down to the wire, pretty close. So that's why the one bet I like on this is Bengals to cover.
Yeah, Bengals cover. Take that to the bank, I think.
I'd even sell a point and go down to 5.5, or buy a point and go up to 6.5. I mean, I hate the pushes, so I'd rather go one way or the other.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you want a better payout, go down to 5.5. If you're wanting to be a little safer, go up to 6.5 maybe, or even buy a 1.5 and go up to 7.5.
Yeah, win by a touchdown and an touchdown, extra point, and field goal or a 2-point. Definitely possible. We saw some crazy stuff happen today. But anything else on that game? I mean, we're going to see Fitzpatrick in the beginning, probably not going to see Burrow. So it's just going to be one of those games that I think kind of happens.
Yeah, I think it'll be similar to week one. Like, I think Fitzpatrick will play a drive or two, maybe at most the whole first quarter, but then we're going to be in the backups. I mean, Heineke, obviously, he had a decent end of the season and had a really good game against the Bucs in the first round of the playoffs.
Great game against the Bucs.
Had them in that game the entire game. So Heineke's not bad by any means, but if you want another bet on that game, I would like whatever the first quarter line is. I would take Washington maybe. Probably like a 1.5, maybe 2.5 for the first quarter. That could be a decent bet, but I like the Bengals to cover ultimately.
Yeah, I think Bengals covering is the safest bet out of all of that, because let's be real, the Bengals could just go off like they did last weekend, blow them away. But I'll stick with the money line for the Washington football team. By the way, speaking of the football team, dude, did you hear they narrowed down the names? They're no longer going to be the football team coming next season.
Yeah, and I think all their potential names are stupid as fuck, in my opinion. But
I'm all for the Defenders. I like the Defenders. That sounds badass. I think you get some good logos out of that.
And they're stealing that from the XFL.
Absolutely.
XFL team for the one season. I was
all about them.
So hyped on the XFL. I was full-time DC Defenders. I was ready to buy a jersey. Good thing I didn't, because
Yeah.
XFL is, I don't know, on canceled, on pause, whatever. Maybe they're coming back, maybe they're not.
Hey, The Rock bought it. The Rock bought the XFL, so that motherfucker's coming back stronger than ever. And it's going to partner with the CFL. So we'll get the Canadians involved too. Let's go.
I suppose that would be the I would like that. I mean, DC Defenders, but they can't be the Washington Defenders. They should just full on. I mean, if you're gonna steal half the name, steal the whole name. Just rebrand to the DC Defenders and buy their same logo,
Rip
buy
it. Yeah.
all the trademark shit.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if you're going that route, just go all in. Go all in 100%. Buy all of their trademark stuff and buy everything. that nice red and white color.
Yes, sir.
I know there's a couple other teams in the NFL that are kind of red and white, but if you go strictly red and white with no other colors, I don't think there's any team that's like only red and white. And yeah, that could be interesting. Like I said, it's not necessarily rebranding for them, but I'd like to see them just buy the whole XFL brand and take that to the NFL.
That would be.
Then I'm still not gonna take them as my team over the Packers, but I'm gonna be like, damn, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, the Defenders would be a great name. I honestly wouldn't mind if they stuck with football team. The Washington football team. I think that's got a nice ring to it. Definitely has more of a soccer vibe to it than anything, but it's completely different than anything else we have in the NFL right now, and I think that's nice.
I will say I do want them to change it from the standpoint of, I'm buying a bunch of WFT shit because, decades down the road.
Oh yeah, this stuff's gonna go.
It's gonna be so cool to have if they had 2 seasons with the branding and the name, the Washington football team. Like that stuff's gonna be valuable. So I'm saying if it's confirmed that they're changing, buy a bunch of Washington football team stuff. I mean, if you can get it autographed, even better. Like that stuff's gonna not skyrocket, but it's gonna slowly over the years just increase in value, and then 30 years down the road, that shit's probably gonna be like.
Especially if you can get
it's gonna be collector items at that point.
If you can get a Alex Smith, Washington football team signed jersey from when he won Comeback Player of the Year. That's the jersey I think that would be worth a shit ton of money in the future. I might actually try to do that because, because there's just not a lot of stars on the team. You know what I mean? Besides the name and the jersey,
Or anything like Chase Young, rookie.
Yeah,
rookie
Chase Young would be good.
But I just think any of those jerseys, helmets, whatever, when they stop making it and they've only made them for 2 seasons like that, I think, like I said, 20, 30 years down the road, that'll be collector items and it'll be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen what collectors of items have done recently. I believe there was a Michael Jordan rookie card that just went for a couple $1 million or something like that. It's unbelievable. But going from one team who Noah wants his colors to be red and white to a team whose colors are actually red and white with a little bit of black, the Arizona Cardinals face the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow, Friday. Chiefs are, of course, the favorite at -3. Over-under at 41 points, -110 either way. Chiefs -150 money line, +130 for the Cardinals. It's going to suck to watch the Cardinals lose this game, but it's inevitable. I mean, I would assume that Patrick Mahomes and the boys will probably start the first quarter and go from there. But you don't think so? Or did they announce that they aren't going to play?
I can't confirm, but I think the Chiefs are one of the teams where they're not really playing any of their first unit guys. So I think that bodes well for the Cardinals, betting wise, at least early in the game, like first quarter, first half, because I think Kyler Murray and the Cardinals starters should be out there for at least a couple drives, if not a full quarter.
Yeah, and even if yeah. Still worries
So
me though,
I
because
personally,
even with the backups, the Chiefs are still an explosive offense. Those both, and that's why my pick for this game is the over. I like the over at 41 points. Um,
you
this
like that at 41 for a preseason game.
Yeah, both these teams' offenses are dynamic. Second, first string, I think they'll be fine. The Cardinals have had a weakness at defense, and if Patrick Mahomes starts, then he's gonna pick them apart. Simple as that. I I have faith in the Cardinals, just not during preseason. I think they're gonna try some new things. I think Kyler Murray's gonna try some new things too, but I think the over will hit.
I disagree. I mean, I probably am staying off of that. I mean, 41 is pretty high. Maybe might look at the under on that, but um, I don't know. Most of the betting lines on this game, I'm kind of inclined to just stay away from.
Yeah,
Um, if it was like gun to my head, had to bet on anything, I'd take Cardinals like plus 3.5 or something like that. But
yeah, tease it up a little bit.
or or like I said, go like once I confirm that Mahomes isn't playing, maybe take like Cardinals first quarter or first half or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, especially if Mahomes isn't playing. But that's a big if. I don't see him playing next week. I don't see a lot of starters playing next week, but who knows? Maybe the Chiefs, they're good enough as it is. Patrick Mahomes doesn't need any reps, so it would make sense for me and for him to sit, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
Next, though, on Saturday, we got bright and early the Bills versus the Bears. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so used to Bears being the underdog, but Bears are the favorite, -4. Over under 38, -110 both ways. -200 money line for the Bears, +170 for the money line. The only reason I see the line like this is because either Vegas is beyond hyped on Justin Fields for whatever having reason, or um, oh man, who's the starting quarterback? Why can't I think of his name?
Dalton.
No, for the Bills.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Thank you, Josh Allen. Unless Josh Allen's not playing and I just
He's
missed that.
he's not.
He's not.
He's
Okay.
not. I don't think.
Okay, that makes more sense then. I'm staying away from this game because I don't like betting on the Bears whatsoever. Uh, but if I had gun to my head to this game, take Bills money line. You might as well get lucky.
I disagree. I like this game a lot. Actually, I'm
Really?
taking the Bears to cover.
Really?
Yeah. Well, so here's my reasoning with that. Bills not likely to start their like first unit.
Yeah.
Dalton will start the game. You know, who knows how that'll go. But
hey, it's his team. This is his time. Don't forget that. This is Dalton's time, dude. Justin Fields will have a great career, but this is Dalton's time.
No, but for me, the Bears, I took them week 1 money line, and then I doubled down when they were down to the Dolphins, and
yeah,
that worked out well because, man, I'm telling you, I think the Bears are a preseason juggernaut. I mean, you just look at that quarterback room. I mean, you got Fields coming in second. Again, like playing against a bunch of backups and stuff. And then you get to the fourth quarter and you're putting Nick Foles in. The Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, U of A's finest.
U of A's finest.
And to me, it's like that's a huge difference. So even though the spread's like 4.5, something like that,
4
in favor of the Bears.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Bears to cover. I just I think offensive production wise, they're like I said, I think they'll be a preseason juggernaut. I think they go 3-0 this preseason, and I think they'll probably win this game by double digits.
Hey, as a Bears fan, I'm pulling for that. I hope for it. I really hope that I'm just jaded from the past and everything, and we actually have a team now. But until I'm proven wrong, I'm staying reserved with this team. I've been hurt too many times,
I didn't say anything about the regular season. I just said preseason juggernaut.
Fair enough. We will see how that turns out. You are right, though. They have a deep quarterback room. But you know what I mean? That's like having managers who have a lot of experience at their jobs, but they got transferred to a new location or something. You know what I mean? We're not really working with the cream of the crop of the quarterback room. So that's kind of a downside in my opinion. But again, I hope I'm wrong. Um, are you ready to get offended a little bit, Noah? Because I'm offended for you.
Um, what are you going for?
I'm going with the next game that we're going to talk about, the Jets Packers. Um, the Jets are a favorite in this game, -2.5, over under 32.5 points, -105 over, -115 under. Jets -130 money line, +110 Packers. I don't care how bad they played last year. I don't care how bad they lost. You don't put them as an underdog to the Jets. I don't care. Like, Vegas should make easy money and give the Packers the -2.5, -1.5, and then Jets win. Like, I don't know what Vegas is thinking on this line. Give me Packers cover. Give me Packers money line. I'll ride that to the bank all day. Your thoughts?
Opposite, man. I'm betting Jets, big time.
Really? What's that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Zach Wilson's going to come out, play the whole first quarter.
Yeah.
Jets are going to have their first team in to start the game. Packers made it pretty clear they're not really putting hardly any of their starters on offense or defense in for any snaps this preseason. Jordan Love, I don't think he's playing at all this game because they're, that minor shoulder injury. They're being like uber cautious about. That's right. Him. I'm sure we'll see him like third preseason game, but I mean the Packers went out and brought back in some other quarterback that they cut previously, because otherwise, you got Ben Kurt playing all 4 quarters, and I don't think they wanted to play the full game. So I mean, you look at the Packers, you got a third and fourth string quarterback playing the entire game, starting with the second team offense and defense in there. Yeah, I mean, I like the Jets to cover this. Huge. I mean, we saw what happened last week. Packers lost 26-7 to the Texans.
Yeah.
I think it'll be another lopsided preseason game that the Packers are on the wrong end of, and not worried at all about it. But betting wise, I like the Jets a lot.
Fair enough. I did not know they were keeping Love out of practice. I must have missed that. I mean, I'm sorry, out of the game. I missed that.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I think that's kind of how we're trending.
Well, that would make sense. You don't want. I mean, essentially, since he is your number 2, right? I would assume he's number 2 on the depth chart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he absolutely should be. Like if Rodgers goes down with some injury, it's going to be Love. There's no question about that. There's no quarterback battle for the second string spot.
Yeah.
What's the over under at for this game?
The over under is at 32.5, and I kind of like the under in this game.
That's low.
I kind of like the under, dude.
I like the under. Well, I liked it until you told me the number. That's really low.
Fair. So you're going to stay away from the under?
That's
just go with Jets cover?
I'm going to stay away from it because, like I said, I like the under, but then you told me the number, and now I don't like it. So this one's just a stay away from that. But I love the Jets to cover. I love that.
All right, so Jets cover 2.5. I'm on the Packers. I'm sorry. I'm on the under at 32.5. Next game I think is kind of a no-brainer. We got Ravens-Panthers. Ravens the favorite, -3, over under 35.5, -110 both ways. Ravens -165 money line. Panthers +140. Ravens are 17-0, 16-0 in preseason games now. You might as well just go money line.
They've won 18 in a row.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. They'll break the record next game, right?
And yeah, I won't even analyze this. I don't even care. I'm betting the Ravens until they lose.
Yeah.
Until they lose a preseason game, I'm just going to keep betting them. I don't care.
And I think that's all that really needs to be said about that game. Um, Moving on, Falcons, Dolphins. Tua not retiring. So we'll probably we'll probably see him for a quarter or two, maybe a little bit into the second if they're midway through drive. Falcons, I think they're just going to be dog shit this year, dude. I really do. I think Kyle Pitts will be good fantasy wise. I think stay away from Matt Ryan, but if I had to bet on this game, I'm going to stay away from this game. But if I had to, I'd bet Dolphins money line and just chill and enjoy it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, like Dolphins are what 5 point favorite.
Yeah, 4.5. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that spread again. Like these larger spreads in preseason.
mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, if a gun to my head, if I had to pick something to bet on, probably Dolphins money line, even though the payout's not great.
Terrible.
What's the over under at?
35.5. No, 36.5. I don't like that at all.
I mean, I'd probably take the under, but this game just like screams, just stay away from.
Yeah.
For me.
No, I'm with you. Stay away from this game. There's no point. We got so many other games.
See a good value. I don't see like a good value or a high percentage bet from this game. So.
No, not at all. Now, this is a game.
Not one I'm touching.
No, I will say this is a game I'm touching, and you're gonna hate me for every reason I'm touching it. But next we got Lions Steelers. Steelers are the favorite, -6.5. Over under 37, -115 over, -105 under. Steelers are the favorite, money line -280, +220 Lions. Give me Lions. Give me 6.5. I will take that any day. They got embarrassed last week with Dan Campbell's first action as head coach. I'm looking for them to make a comeback this year. Steelers, let's be real. They're going to start Rudolph, and they're going to be off to a terrible start. And I think the Lions will capitalize on that. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Steelers a lot as a preseason team. I don't like them at the line that they're at, but Mason Rudolph, he's been around as a backup, and they got Dwayne Haskins, and those two are both fighting for the backup job and possibly the future quarterback job.
Yeah.
After Big Ben retires after the next year or two. So,
do you think it's a fight?
I think it's an open quarterback battle for the backup spot.
I know they say it's an open quarterback fight, just like the Patriots are an open quarterback competition. But we both know Cam Newton is starting week 1. Gun to their head. Dwayne Haskins starts over Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph is a train wreck, dude. He's a terrible quarterback.
I mean, Rudolph is he's taken the reps over Haskins right now, but it's close. I do think this one's still fully open, and either of those two guys could win the backup spot. And so there's a lot to prove, which is why I do like Pittsburgh to win this. Like I said, I'm not going to take the line because 6.5 is way too much for a preseason game. That Steelers defense is solid through and through, though, so I do like the under in this.
I will say I like the under 2 at 37. I think that's a little high for these two teams. But I agree with you. 6.5 is a rough line to bet, but I think the Lions will cover that not pretty easy. That I'm gonna take that back, but I think they'll cover 6.5 to a nail biter for a preseason game.
Oh, I think we should. I don't think we're expected to see Goff, so like I said, the one bet that I really like on this game is the under.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If you're going to do anything, go with the under.
I may sell a couple points, take Pittsburgh at 4.5 or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But the under is looking juicy to me.
Yeah, I can't blame you. Under that's not looking juicy to me is the one for the Titans and the Bucks, though. They're at 35.5. Over under, -115 over, -105 under. I'm so sorry. Yeah, minus 105 over, minus 115 under, with the Bucks as a 1 point favorite, minus 120 money line. Titans plus 100. Give it to the Bucks. I mean, I'm gonna stay away from this game. I think the Titans are looking good. If we see Brady, it'll be for only a drive, and yeah, I'm gonna stay away from this game more than likely. Gun to my head, take the Bucks minus 1, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Titans money line.
Yeah,
I
plus
think
100, good
I think the
value.
I think the Bucks are not set up for preseason success, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
they balled out in order to keep their starting 22 intact, and I I think part of that is they're very thin in their second and third strings, which will be something to watch this season because
Yeah.
a couple major injuries, and you know they're going to have some troubles if they lose some key guys at key positions because I mean if you look at their depth chart they're pretty thin past their starters, and you know that's they I guess intentionally did that and spending all this money to bring all these guys back, and they then can't really bring in some like situational rotational guys because they're so you know you know put all their eggs in one basket, put all their chips on the table, and um, and good for them. They'll be in the top couple teams competing for the Super Bowl if they can stay relatively healthy. But if they get hit with some injuries, that'll be tough on them. And for that same reason, that's why I don't really like them in preseason. I mean, they just lost by like a touchdown to the Bengals last week. I think the Titans will beat them by a score or two this week. So I like the Titans money line a lot.
Yeah. Noah, after listening to you talk, yeah. Titans money line sounds really good actually at plus 100. I can't argue with that. The Bucks will be a great team during the regular season. Interesting that you bring up the injuries though, because let's say Brady gets injured. Who's their backup right now?
Uh, Blaine Gabbert maybe, or it should be Blaine Gabbert, and then I think you got Kyle Trask as your third
Right,
string
Trask
rookie.
is third.
Kyle
Yeah,
Trask,
that's
which
rough.
Trask looked good. Trask he had some plays where he looked really good in their first game. He had some plays where he looked awful. I mean, he's a rookie. He was like a fourth round pick or something like that. So or second round, I don't know,
Second round, I want to
somewhere.
say, but don't quote me on that,
But
please.
like you know, I just and that's not even the position they're thinnest at. Like on the defensive side of the ball, they've got some real issues if they have some key injuries there.
Well, they just gotta hope they
I mean,
don't have any.
they're very deep. They're very deep at receiver, and that's the only position they're deep at.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a team that's not deep at quarterback whatsoever. That being the Indianapolis Colts, with Carson Wentz still out, even though it is to be said that he's been seen walking around post surgery and everything, looking good to come back week 1. The Colts take on the Vikings. The Vikings as a interesting favorite, minus 2.5, over under 38.38.5, minus 110 both ways. With the Vikings money line minus 150, the Colts plus 130. Interesting. That's all. Like, just because of the line and how the Vikings played last week, I kind of want to take Colts to cover, Colts money line, but at the same time, we kind of don't know a lot about both teams. Both teams right now are not the best, so I'll probably stay away.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the betting on the Colts is kind of a forbidden fruit type of thing here.
Yeah, for right now.
Um, you're like looking at it, you're like, oh, the Vikings played so bad week 1 of preseason. You got an active quarterback battle for who's going to be the starter week 1 for the Colts. All ththese signs are like, oh, okay, the Colts sound like a good bet. However, watching how pissed off Mike Zimmer was after that Vikings game, I would not be surprised if we see a completely different Vikings team here in the second week of preseason. Um,
We
my
could.
problem is if we get the team that we saw week 1, then they're going to get absolutely trashed. But I've got kind of a hunch that we'll see a different team. It's not strong enough that I'm going to take them. This is a very just like stay away from it type of game for me, betting wise.
Yeah, I'm with you. And gun to my head, I wouldn't make a pick. This is one of those games where even a gun to my head, no, I'm staying away. Go ahead, pull the trigger. I'm good. Another game I'm going to stay away from. Well, no, I'm not going to stay away from this game because this is a pretty easy pick. You got the battle at Texas. You have the Texans versus the Cowboys. Cowboys is the favorite, -4. 37.5 is the over-under, -110 both ways. Cowboys are the money line, -190. Texans +165. Take Cowboys money line and just call it a day. I don't care how bad I've said the Cowboys are. They're not worse than the Texans by any means necessary. So yeah, that's my only pick on the game is Cowboys money line -190. Take that to the bank because the Texans suck. Probably the worst team in football going into the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm staying away from this one.
Yeah.
Staying off of it. What's the over under at?
37.5.
I'd take the under on this one, to be honest. I don't know. But I probably even that I probably won't bet it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't like this game whatsoever.
No, and just not good lines whatsoever. 4 points and 37.5. Like, no real value on the money line. Stay away from it.
Yeah, I just, this one's just not worth betting in my mind.
Not whatsoever. And another game that's probably not worth betting whatsoever. The Raiders against the Rams. Raiders are the favorite, -6.5. 35 for the over-under, -110 both ways. Raiders -270 money line. Rams +220. This is one of those situations where I don't think the Rams are a good team when they have their starting ones out. I think the Rams are better with their starting twos out. I don't understand how the line's at 6.5. Maybe take the Rams to cover, but this is one of those games where I feel like Vegas knows something that we don't, so I'm going to stay away.
I disagree. This is like the same as the Bengals for me. I'm like, I see that 6.5. I'm like, I have to take the Rams to cover 6.5. Not going to take a money line, but that's a big spread. I mean,
huge in preseason.
Even with their backups, I mean, I can't stay away from this one. I gotta take Rams to cover.
All right, Rams to cover 6.5. I can't blame you. Like, I can't, because that was what I saw. That was my first thought when I saw this line. But I'm gonna stay away. This game I won't stay away from. Broncos Seahawks. Broncos are the favorite, -5.5 points. Over-unders at 37.5, -110 both ways. Broncos -225 money line. Seahawks +180. Give me Seahawks, the money line. Give me the plus points, and we'll call it good. Broncos, terrible team. Front, back, center. Give me the Seahawks. We're good to go.
Yeah, but you're forgetting about the fact that the Broncos have an active quarterback battle. So they have Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock both going to be starting a decent amount. I think what I would do personally, the bet that I like on this one, this is where I take like a first half bet. I'll take the Broncos to be winning in the first half. I mean, I don't love the spread, but I think if it was gun to my head, I'd take the Broncos to cover as well. This is another one of those cases where, it's preseason, not the regular season. True. Teddy B and Drew Lock, especially if you get Drew Lock out there against like second, third strings, as shitty as he has got starting quarterback experience. He's going to be able to do something. And, they just trashed the Vikings, but I don't think this will be like as big of a blowout, but and they got a very good defense in Denver, and they got depth on their defense. So I kind of like the Broncos here. I like them first half even more than I like them game line, but take them 2.5 in the first. That sounds wonderful to me.
Well, it is preseason. Anything can happen. Let's be real. We saw the Vikings get blown out by a shitty team. Yeah, I can see it going either way. Next game, I'm not excited about whatsoever. I would be excited about it if the starters were playing, but we got the Giants and the Browns. Browns are a favorite, -6. Over-unders at 36 points, -110 both ways. Browns -240 money line. Giants +200. I'm good. I'm staying off this. This is preseason football, as we've said. I don't know enough about the Browns secondary to even make an educated bet. Like, I'm staying away from this game as like it's COVID, bro.
Yeah, I'll say it again because of the line. I mean, got to take Giants +6.
Yeah.
And this is another one where maybe I'd sell a point, either sell a half point or a 1.5. Take it at Giants +6.5 or 7.5. It's preseason. You never know what's going to happen. So many of these games week 1 in preseason were really close down to the wire. So I'd take Giants 6.5 or 7.5.
Yeah, not a bad bet, honestly.
What was the over under on this game?
36.
Yeah, I'd lean under on this. Just
I would lean. Yeah, lean under, but we really don't.
I don't love the under, but I would lean under on this one. You got two pretty decent defenses. I'm not sure how the depth is on either of these defenses, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Another depth we really don't know about, the 49ers and the Chargers. 49ers -5 going into this game, over under at 34.5 points, -110 both ways. 49ers -210 money line. Chargers +175. Let me rethink that statement. We actually kind of know how the 49ers secondary is going to go because they're going to have Trey Lance start. Trey Lance has been a powerhouse last week. I think he's going to continue that. Give me 49ers money line. And that's about it.
I disagree. I mean, they lost last week.
True. But I think the Chargers number 2s are worse.
Trey Lance did not look that great. He had like 2 deep balls down the field. Like 2 deep passes downfield that hit.
He looked better than Justin Fields did, I thought.
No, Fields looked bad in his first couple drives, but then he heated up and was hot. With the spread at what it is, I mean, I like Chargers to cover, and I might even sprinkle a little bit on Chargers money line on this, just because I think the Chargers have better depth than the Niners do. So I think the third and fourth quarter, the second half, definitely live bet this if it's if the Niners are up. If the Niners are up by 1 score at halftime, if they're up 4 to 7 points, I would probably take Chargers live bet just because it'll be good odds. It'll be nice plus odds, juicy bet there. May not hit, but like I said, I like Chargers to cover the 5.5, 6 points, whatever it is, and then I might even sprinkle a little on money line for him. So we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, at +5, that's good value. That's almost breaking your 6.5 rule right there, your 6 rule right there. You might as well take them to cover, but I don't know, man. I'm taking the 49ers. And so we come to our last game, our Monday night game, Jaguars versus the Saints. Saints are the favorite, -4.5, over under 38.5, -115 over, -105 under. Saints minus 220 money line. Jaguars plus 180. Give me the Saints. Give me the points. Give me the money line. Over under, I'm staying away from, but this is preseason. I don't think the Jaguars, even with the team they have, even if they start their first strings through the whole game, they don't have enough, I don't think, to win this game or cover 4.5 points. What are your thoughts on this game, Noah?
Oh, I agree. It's Saints all the way.
Yeah.
Full on Saints. They, you know, got beat late by Baltimore last week, but they turned the ball over 6 goddamn times.
Ooh.
They're not going to do that again.
No.
They're not going to turn the ball over 6 times. And I think they lost like 14-17 or something like that. I don't remember the exact score, but it was something similar to that. Baltimore is deeper and better than Jacksonville, and I don't expect to see that again. I think, and we're going to see with the Saints, we're going to see Jameis out there with a lot of the first unit guys. We'll see Taysom Hill. I think the Saints run away with this one, to be honest. I think this could be one of our blowout games of the week.
Hey, I hope so.
I'll take, Saints -4, Saints money line, whatever. I don't know. I think, this could be a game like we saw with the Patriots where we could see the Saints putting up 30 points on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. This Jaguars team is just not good right now. Regular season might be a different story, but not much of a different story at this time. And we got to remember, even though Trevor Lawrence has been the number 1 pick since he came out of the womb, it doesn't mean he's going to do excellent going into the NFL his first season. This is
well, he was their first preseason game. He was the 3rd best quarterback on that team.
Yeah,
that played in their first game.
And imagine if Tebow got under center, he would have been number 4.
Yeah, you can stop talking about Tebow. He's a ghost now. He's riding off into the sunset.
Hey, Broncos might sign him, dude. I'm just saying. The Broncos might sign him. It could happen, though. It could happen.
Nobody's going to sign him.
Yeah, we'll see.
He was only on the Jaguars because of Urban Meyer, and he couldn't even make, not even their final cut. He couldn't even make their 85-man cut.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that's what I think was
we saw him. He did not look good. He could not play tight end. He couldn't block for shit.
No, he could not do his job whatsoever.
And Urban Meyer likes him, so clearly he was not good enough. That's all there is to it. Because there's, those two are buddies, and he still got cut.
Yeah, like I said, I think he was just brought in to get cut. He was brought in to get cut, send a message.
It was a good news headline.
Great. Gave us something to talk about.
Of excitement there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, six turnovers for the Saints week 1. I expect that number to be 2 or less in this game. I think they win by, 2-3 scores at least. And I'd go on the over on this game too, as well. Like I said, I think the Saints could put up 25-30 points, and if Jacksonville puts up 10 or 15, then boom, there you are. You're at the over.
Yeah, that's the over for you right there. Yeah. Anything else on any of the games we've covered today, Noah? Any lines you want to go back to, or stuff you want to revise?
Not as far as lines. But I guess games to keep your eye on. Like I would say, I'd say probably the Colts, watching that quarterback situation there, because depending on what week Carson Wentz is back, might not be till they're saying it looks optimistic, so my guess is probably week 4 or 5 maybe, but those first 3-4 weeks, you're either seeing Jacob Eason or Sam Ellinger. So if you're looking for something to watch that actually matters, that's a good one. Pittsburgh for their backup, but that's not as big of a deal. And then obviously Denver. Watching Denver, seeing if it's going to be Teddy B or Drew Lock. I've expressed how I feel. I don't know why it's even a quarterback competition. I think it should be Teddy B 100%
It should be. It should be.
Little Teddy Two Gloves in there, but
yeah.
Those are probably the two games I'm keeping my eye on the most. I don't care about the Packers game because there's no reason, there's no reason for me to I'll watch it because I'm a Packers fan, but there's no reason for me to care about anything that goes on with that one.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. The Colts are definitely something I'm going to be watching this weekend. I might watch the Texans versus the Cowboys just to watch a dumpster fire. I haven't seen a good dumpster fire in a long time. But besides that, yeah, the Colts. I'm going to watch the Bucks Titans because after I talk about the Bucks second strings and everything, I kind of want to see how they perform and what they do just in case someone does get injured. And then Jaguars Saints, I'm interested in Trevor Lawrence, and I'm interested to see if he actually has talent, if it's all been hype, and if he can actually live up to his number one draft pick out of the womb, But besides that, that's all I got. You got anything else for the Degens today, Noah?
Yeah, just speaking of the Bucks, I think it'll be interesting to see whether or not Tom Brady even gets a series.
Yeah.
He was in for one series, I think 3 plays. He got sacked in that week 1. I wonder if that will keep him out of the game completely, whether or not they intend to give him preseason reps or not. Because with, being 43 years old, I don't know that you don't want a guy like that taking hits in the preseason for useless games that don't matter. So
no. If you're Bruce Arians, if you're Tom Brady, you sit. This shouldn't even be a conversation. If Tom Brady is dressed for this game, I'm going to be worried more than anything during this game because I'm going to be worried he gets hurt. Literally, just on a drop back, he could tweak his ankle or something, and then he's out for a couple weeks. You just never know. This is why I think the preseason. Sorry?
As much as I don't like Tom Brady, I don't want to see him get injured.
No, especially in preseason. Yeah.
I want to have valid reasons to shit on him. I don't want to shit on him because the Bucks didn't do well and he was injured. I want them to just be bad when he's starting all 17 games. But no, I hate seeing preseason injuries anywhere in general.
Yeah.
It sucks. These games don't matter for shit. And so, every year you see a handful of guys who end up with season-ending injuries or injuries where they miss half the season because they're playing in a preseason game, which is why I think you see it trending more and more towards a lot of these coaches keeping all of their starters out of these preseason games.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw today, I believe it was a right guard for the Jets or a right tackle. He had a MRI on his ACL and his Achilles today after getting carted out of practice today. And so I haven't heard any reports yet on whether he tore his Achilles or something's wrong. But yeah, you see these injuries, and in football it can really happen at any time. That's any sport though. These injuries can happen at any time. Practice, in game, preseason. It's a rough business to be in.
Yeah, like I said, even the teams I hate, I don't want to see anybody get injured.
Never.
That's not how you want to beat somebody, unless you're a Vikings fan and you're cheering for, when Anthony Barr broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone and they were celebrating that like they won the fucking Super Bowl. Doesn't surprise me because they've never won a Super Bowl. They've never won anything, so they, But I'm not like that. I think most people are in the same boat. I don't want to see anybody get injured.
No, never. We never do here at Degenerate Takes. We do not want anyone to get injured because let's be real, that could F up our fantasy, and we don't like that whatsoever. But yeah, with all that being said, we will be back on Sunday night, Monday morning to recap the weekend of NFL football, the 5 straight days of NFL football. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it. Noah, I don't know about you, but It's good. It's good to be back, bro. I don't know. It's good, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can keep this betting record up, keep the magic going, make
Yes,
some more money
sir.
this weekend. Because I'm probably gonna lose it all when regular season starts. But hey, if I can be hot in preseason going into regular season, that's good enough for me.
I can't agree with
They
you more.
the preseason regular season games, they all count the same to my bookie.
Yes, sir. They all count the same to the bookie. Let's remember that when betting this weekend, it doesn't matter the line, it doesn't matter the money. It's all the same to the bookie, and it should all be the same to you. With that being said, I've been AJ. That's been Noah. We'll see you Sunday for some more Degenerate Takes.